Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain, mountain.
Fire, what you saying?
There, I give thanks to life as usual.
Serious. We are here again. Baldhead Energy. Give thanks for tuning in from those times till now. Fire, what reason about today?
Well, today we are reasoning about seasons, the importance of seasons, because I realize growing up, we used to hear the terminology, we used to hear the term where you say, everything has a season, and we say there's a time and place for everything. So we have to understand, what does that really mean? Can we be doing the same thing all the time? And once you're doing all of this work, you're putting in all of this work, there's a time for relax, there's a time for put some thought in it, strategize. So there's a time for every different thing, and we need to understand as people the importance of all of these different timing, you know?
Serious thing, Fire, and this is a powerful topic. In regards to season, what I've noticed is that, and I'll share my own experience and my own struggles, but in regards to seasons, when people speak about seasons, they only focus on what we refer to as the good season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being that there's this polarity of everything, we don't talk about the seasons that are unpleasant and how we identify them and the actual benefits from them and having the endurance and the mindset to get through them. You know, I'm a man sitting in nature, and I was watching this tree, and I was looking to just say, one, it was a beautiful day, right? But you know, I was praying, Fire, the endurance of the tree. First of all, I've been there for a time because it's a big tree. So it's a section with a bunch of big trees, right? And how knowledgeable that tree must be, whether it can articulate the knowledge that we can understand it. But there's definitely a knowledge there and something that's been learned because the tree has endured so many seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It really has, because you figure a tree that big had to be there for 50 years, 60, maybe 100 years. Who knows, right? Winter season.
All right, stop it there, sir. Talk about the winter season then. So we're going to run the people them through the basis of how important each of them is, because I love how they even mention winter season, and that's the right place. That during the winter season, what type of emotion it evoke, and what is the lesson where you think is the biggest lesson learned during a season where it's all cold, it's the inside is more of a hibernation period. You get time for really understand the importance of warmth or feeling that outside feel. What type of emotion you get from a winter season or a lesson that we kind of bring across where we feel like it could be relatable to most people when we think about it?
I think the winter season, the analogy would be, believe it or not, the gratitude should be even higher, more than the good season, because I notice when things going good, man, we get ungrateful, Fire, and we get entitled. And you need that balance to really keep. I can speak for my own self. It's something I still struggle with, you know? It should be even higher gratitude, one, of reflection. But when I say reflection, not reflection in regards to stressing yourself out in regards to bad things, but reflection of all the good and also giving thanks that you have the capability to get through it.
That is it.
You know?
No fruit on the tree, no
Facts.
leaf,
Nothing
nothing
going
at
on,
all.
nothing
Nothing
going on, you know?
on.
And I think that's the game changer in regards to can you consistently put effort into something when nothing's going on?
Yes.
I think that's the weeding out process. Because people could really work very hard. Their spirit could be very high when things are going good, or things, I can't even say going good, things are going the way you planned it to be, or, you know, you feel it's a good situation. Can you put in that same effort, keep a vibe or keep a brightness in your spirit when nothing is going the way that you plan? And I think that's what weeds people out in life in general. You know, this could be any aspect of your life, regardless of what you're pursuing, whether it's having a strong relationship with your spouse. You have a, you know what? I said that because everything with like progression is always with money and business and all these things. And there are different aspects of your life. Like you may be trying to get healthy, and you're trying to get healthy and you have some setbacks and you get discouraged and now you just drop it. You know, you may be trying to improve your relationship with your own self or a relationship with another human being, and there's some rocky roads and you just drop it. You know, but can you continually put in effort towards things when things are going right? Also be far. I hope I'm not rambling, but I really been analyzing this concept of blessing and potential, right? I want to hear what you have to say about this. when majority of people use the word blessing, I think it's inaccurate because I think it takes at least 5-10 years to see if something's a blessing.
Yeah.
You need that time and space because you could think this is the greatest thing ever and it's the worst thing. You think it's the worst thing ever, it's the greatest thing. So if that's the case in the present time, you can't use the word blessing. So is a blessing, this is just what I've been thinking. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Is a blessing just the potential? Are you blessed the fact that you have the potential to do something because everyone doesn't have the potential? I'm not a big believer of everyone. They don't have it is what it is, Fire, right?
Mm.
So the fact that you have potential to do something, whether it's endure, whether to move forward, whether to try, I think that's the blessing, that you have that capability to do it.
Yes, man. And the blessing is really just the ability. It's really, as I said, it's just the ability, really, when you think about it. That's how me think about it, at least. Like, having that gratitude to even have two hands so where we can put on something and turn a screw or anything of that nature and understand that the feelings, a blessing to feel like this within the moment, being on set right now and able to give a reasoning that somebody more than likely can try to dissect and find a particular part of the reasoning where related for them life. So it's a blessing for, just as I said, the potential itself to me is the blessing, and the existence even before the potential, the existence to be able to do that. Because gratitude is something we often overlook. Like, we talk about the season, and again, we can tie that into where in the winter season, for me, one of the biggest blessings for me is having access to anything we can moisturize your skin. Because the time gets so cold. Normally, I think about cold, you get a dry skin, or you're going to use to moisturize it. And I think about it even just from like a metaphorical standpoint too, where what happens when the time is dry? What do you use to moisturize your skin or moisturize the process itself so things can start flow? What type of covering do you put over your foundation that you've laid
over
that you
your
use
mind,
to feel warm?
What covering you put over your mind so your mind don't flop out? I like that one.
And make sure you can stay stable and you feel balance, because that balance is very important. So what we think about blessing is really the potential and the ability and the gratitude for just knowing so we're coming from a dry period and then now we can transition, just like we are reason right now. It's a blessing to me for now, so we can talk about winter and now we can even transition in a spring, because we think about a different outlook. It might seem like the same conversation, but it evokes different emotion, and these things are things that we have to be so grateful of, because that is very important. The mind can't stay in a one gear or one frame of mind. You have to be multifaceted for actually strive and understand that life is so infinite and so massive that once you unlock a new potential or a new code or go into a new season, a lot of people never even pass that one season. I don't even know what it feel like for transition properly into that next season, or what are the expectations that will come within this season that I have to, or the trials that will come in. Every new season bring a new trial, you know?
Facts.
Because when you think about the winter being cold, and it's all right, we're going to spring now. What we love about spring, the beginning of spring and the end of spring is two separate things.
True.
Because one, the beginning of spring is very cold, and then the end of spring is something that's very warm. So we start thinking about, times change, the leaf, then whenever they're on the tree, start to come on the tree now. So we know there's a new thing start now. So once we overcome the dry season and we live to survive that, now we have a new outlook. Now we say, okay, we are like the branches. We're like the branches. The leaves start appear upon the branches. So now it start more warm start coming in. And we know, so now what we have to do now? We have to draw for some water now. If we even start, we have to throw some seed in the ground now. Because once you start throw that seed in the ground from that winter time when it was dry, you formulate a plan. And that plan is, okay, I'm going to throw some seed. When spring comes, with actually time to throw the seed in the ground. So we have to show the seed, then we start sowing our mind now. We have to start actually carry out these plans we put together. And once we carry out these plans now, we say, all right, new season. Let's see what this is. The plan we think about in our mind, let's actually carry it out physically. And then we see which direction it leads.
No, facts, man. And I wanted to jump back to that tree I was looking at, right? And I was observing in regards to just like how much things the tree has been through, how much things the tree has been exposed to, and how it's prepared for those things. So maybe first, when it experienced those things, it's probably very overwhelming, very scary. Personification I'm doing right now for people. But as time progresses, if they've done it more and more, that tree is really capable of navigating those seasons, have a better understanding of those seasons, and don't get overwhelmed. I think for us as people, first we have to actually do stuff to actually be in a position to experience those things. Initially, they are kind of discouraging, overwhelming, but the more you do it, the more you're capable of being able to deal with it and know how to navigate. I think a lot of times is that people don't even start or they jump ship before they get enough repetitions. Because this repetition in life is very important. And I know it's weird. We're talking to, I think, Brother Nuri Muhammad. Look out for that. We got a powerful reason with the brother coming. Yeah. But he was breaking stuff down, and it's just like, man, we're so risk averse collectively as a people. We really avoid things that are hard. We really do. I think we just said on the last one we did there in regards to just like we really duck and dodge things that are hard. And everyone within them knows that there's that thing you're ducking and dodging, bro. I've been there. You get what I'm saying? And those are the things that you need to do, because it's just like, it seems like the hardest things push us forward the most, and we learn the most from them, and we grow the most from those things, And I just wanted to touch on another topic, Farai, in regards to the gratitude. I think a lot of times with the gratitude, I was talking to Dougie Fresh about this earlier, with the gratitude is like our expectation throws everything off. And because of the expectation or whatever's going on doesn't meet the expectation that we have, that we came up with our mind, that's where the frustration comes into play. And when the frustration comes into play, the gratitude declines. So when you're blinded by this frustration because you didn't meet the expectation, you can't see all the things you should be grateful for. And I think that's where we run into problems. That's where I have run into problems. You get what I'm saying? This is a key part of my life. I've improved tremendously, but I definitely know I need to improve more, where it's not consistent, but sometimes if I get on this expectation vibe, and when it's not met, it's a frustration. And when it does occur, I don't fully disregard, but I'm not as grateful as I should be. Thankfully, I'm at a position where I can identify and check myself, but there's definitely a lot of room for growth with that. And many people can relate, but that expectation is a killer. Not to say you shouldn't have expectations, but expectations for the most part are unrealistic. I think the expectation that is realistic is the effort you can put in towards something.
Yeah, and the energy you can't control the full outcome.
You just can't control the full outcome. And a lot of times the outcome is not aligned. The outcome that you have in your mind is not aligned with the universe in regards to what's going on. And it's just not the time. By that time, listen, this time thing is a serious thing. This time thing is a serious thing. And I'm not telling anybody to sit and wait for anything, right? But you got to feel things out and see how things move and things flow. And if you gotta be in tune to just get this timing down, and you'll notice, like, you've been trying to do, you probably experienced, man, you've been trying to do something forever, right? But you just didn't know, you weren't ready, you weren't prepared for that thing, fight. You just didn't have a skill set. And there's so many things going on out here that have to align for this thing to work. I could give you 100 examples from my life of this thing,
The first example come to my mind. Imagine vicing as a youth, you vice a whole album.
Yeah.
And it never released.
Yeah.
So you see, these things teach a lesson where we have to really bring through life and overstand. Like, there's one person who, when the summer come, or probably the ending of spring, and them say April showers bring me flowers.
Yeah.
I will say when no rain a go fall, but some people are say, wait, it's too much rain a fall now.
Yeah.
So which is it? Is it that we think that once we say rain going to fall, we expect it to fall for 1 hour. It's going to fall 1 hour every single day. It don't work like that. It's not a 9 to 5 or a structure that is kind of weaved in by a system. We have to understand the system of nature, and the system of our brain operates off that same system. Is one that is basically, it have different direction. There's no one way about it. And that those directions we have to understand is not always to our liking, because one person might see the rain a fall and say, okay, I'm happy because him say him flowers them a grow, or him plant them a grow. And the other person might say, no, every time the rain fall, my house stop leak.
Yeah.
So everybody see life different. And even though we see life different, we have to understand, because the person who said them house a leak, that's supposed to be a motivation for them for know, so them are going to be able to fix that And there was a leak there. If the rain never fall, you would even know it exists.
And
so these things.
And there's another part, Far. I think we think everything's about us.
Thank you very much.
You get what I'm saying? And then like the universe is almost attacking you, or if you want to say you're a God person, God's attacking you. It's like, if I don't,
why am I so salt?
It
no.
don't really,
Life bigger than that.
Bigger, much bigger.
Yeah.
Much bigger. And you just got to humble yourself and just move and do your thing. And also too, man, with this expectation, the expectation is usually based off of what someone else is doing or this idea we've been given, which is a universal idea. It's a cultural idea. Because we feel that everything should be this grand, everything you do should work out, should have all this money, everything should be a success. It's not realistic for you. I know people may be telling you this and selling you this, but in regards to their personal life, there's a lot going on. Every man struggle, every woman struggle. Yes, and don't let nobody tell you nothing different for you.
And that is it. So like that's why I'm finding reasons like this so important, because when we think about season, just imagine now you see a tree full and it's so luscious and all of these different things that strive. And yet say just a leaf them start come off one by one and them start change color, and you don't understand the process. By you not understanding the process, how much mental strain that put in your brain not understanding the process. Why have I built a solid foundation?
Turmoil.
Done all of these things only to see leaves falling off of my tree. I expect that once I build this process and I get to this destination, things will be so smooth. No leaf will be falling off my tree. My tree will stay evergreen forever. And this is a process that not a people put expectations again. They place this expectation in their mind, not understanding the importance of seasons. Because if we understood the importance of season, we'd understand that once autumn comes in now, these leaves will be falling off the tree. So what is the strategy that we have during this off season? Companies, I think corporations do a good job at this, especially to preserve profit. There is peak season, and then there's those seasons that are just regular seasons, off season. What do they do? What is the strategy? Is it that you're going to say, all right, I'm going to focus on just branding for these 3 months when nobody's not buying these products for 3 months. So because no one is really buying these products, we know that people don't really focus on this. So see, for these 3 months, we're only spending money on brand awareness campaign. And then once these 3 months is finished, every single thing is sales focused. And I think they do a good job at that.
And we can apply that to ourselves, because basically they understand the seasons within their industry, and you need to understand the seasons within life.
Yes, sir.
And like you brought up a great point too, using as a business reference in regards to every season's not a sales season. You're not going to win every season, Fire.
No.
You're not going to win every game. And I think it's the hardest thing to click in people's brain. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win 24/7, and you're not going to be without struggle. I think that, because I used to think this, right? So I just thought that once you get to a certain point in life, like things will just get easy.
Yeah.
It may not be as hard as ground zero, but it's definitely a struggle, because the more, what they say, the more is given, more is expected, And it's just like, I'm telling you, that's the ideology that life is supposed to be hard, and almost, I think people almost are ashamed of their struggle. And I think that's why everybody's lying to each other. So people think that the next person, no, they're struggling. They're struggling very much. They're probably better hiding it than you, but they're definitely going through it. Because when you talk to people, that's the thing. People don't really talk to people or have real conversation. But when you talk to people and they open up, people are going through it. So you just got to give thanks, because everybody going through it at different levels. And the little thing that you thought you had don't have nothing to do with what the next man had. Either going through it, right? So we give thanks for the struggles that we have,
Yo, that talk and all that come to my mind is that Dennis Brown lyrics. Every man must go through tribulation, no matter who or where he's from. You can't go around it, because no matter where you come from, what financial status you have, it doesn't matter what you specialize in, it doesn't matter your mindset, you and your enemy, or you and your closest friends. Right. It doesn't matter what type of ideology you have in your brain. There is tribulation that you will face. You cannot go around it.
Yeah, and it's just like I was under the trick that I was under the trick that money will solve all your problems, And when I realized it, then I'm glad I learned earlier than later. But don't get me wrong, you need money still. But
natural.
But the cure all, like it's safe, it's not really there at all, And we just encourage people not to find problems, but definitely embrace your challenges and give thanks for life, health, and strength. We need to be more full of gratitude and demonstrate more gratitude and be more thankful for what we have, the experiences we have, and also the potential. I don't think people are grateful for the potential that they have. I don't think potential is equal out here. You know, I really don't. It's sad to say because unfortunately, maybe when you're born, maybe it's an infinite amount of potential you do have. But I think depending on what environment you're in and the system that you're in, your potential decreases dramatically. Are you able to get it back? I'm not sure. You know, but if you have potential, if you have possibility within you to do stuff, really give thanks because a lot of people don't.
And you know, one problem, you have a slight problem with the potential part, and,
Yeah.
and I've been cursing a lot of people since the last 7 days about this particular topic. You see, this potential thing is a misconstrued thing. Yes, you're in a niche, you're in a particular group. Once you have potential, that a lot of people don't even have that.
Yeah.
But so much are we stuck in this potential. Like, oh, you have potential. 10 years later, you have potential. You know, like the potential we have, you're not utilizing that potential.
You have to apply it and execute it.
No, farmer execution and the potential, and that is a problem. I know it kind of deviate a little bit from the topic, but it's still tying where we need to understand that if the season come, if this is the working season, we need to be putting in work. But we say we are sacrifice and put in work, and we need 3 months of work for this season. So by the time this season come and the time gets slow, now we can survive off of that. We can live off of that and strive and build a foundation until that fast season come again, where things start pick up. But most of we're just stuck in this potential thing where in the winter, because we see dry out, we are using moisturizer for our skin just to keep we moving afloat and not understanding that this is for a purpose. So what is it? Yeah, if we have potential, but what is it beyond the potential? Like it's really annoying to see so much people with potential, but yet still not applying or executing or doing nothing with that potential and make it waste.
I think too, you brought up a great point of people who don't utilize their potential. I think that's one of the aspects of hell that you experience in life when you waste your potential, when you waste your talent.
Man.
I think there's an internal ache that some people can't put their finger on, and I think it's because they wasted their talent.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone don't have it. That's why I'm just trying to say. It sound away when you say this, Fire, but like you may be born with it. You may be born with it, right? But as you get older, I feel it leaves you. You know, I don't know if it's dormant. I don't know if you get back to it. But what I'm saying is, if you actually have talent and potential and waste it, I think that is one of the greatest internal conflicts people experience, because you can't put your finger on it, but you can't come to terms with how you had this gift and you didn't do anything with it.
Yes.
And that's where the bitterness comes in, that bitter man or that bitter woman. Because they have, you know where you really see this in church, Fire. With the man that could sing or the woman that could sing. And they never, for whatever reason, really capitalized off of that. And some of the most bitter people are the athlete, right? Because a man will tell you he used to hoop. So I say, what happened? Like, oh, I broke my leg. I'm like, all right. So what happened after that?
Yeah.
So I done broke many things, yeah.
We
ripped many things. Going. Yeah. So it's just always that thing. So it's like, it's that bitterness. And unfortunately, that rolls over to so much aspects of your life, because one, now they just mad at the world, mad at themselves, and they're not in a position to try anything because they just figure, because that didn't work out, that aspect, their whole life is done.
They're mad at the season itself, and that is the ludicrous thing, actually being mad that the season exists. And
that's just part of
it's just part of life.
Part of nature. Yeah. That's reality meds, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do encourage anyone here, if you have any talents or any possibilities, or you have the blessing of a possibility within you, we ask that you capitalize on it, you nurture it, work on it. And also, don't be discouraged by the season, because the season's going to come far. Right?
Yes, man.
There's nothing you could do to deviate from the season, because it's going to come. There's just nothing you could do. So
stay ahead.
Just kind of prepare for it and endure it, and don't feel no way about it, and give thanks regardless,
Yes, sir.
And next thing too, give thanks when things going right too, or you think they're going right. That's the next thing. But sometimes things going right and people looking for something else. So they
looking for a problem, like they're not used to things going too right. So it's wait, what is it? Do I deserve this?
Fight, you brought up a good point. So even though 4 seasons may be taken around, you may be stuck in winter the whole time, Fight. Because your mind can't get out and experience nothing else because you're stuck in winter.
It's alternate universe.
Reality.